My name is Jonathan Hoyt with DHR Leadership Consulting. We solve our clients' most challenging leadership and talent management challenges. I'm here today with George Azih, the founder and CEO of LeaseQuery. Well, it's clear you've assembled a set of people who are passionate about accounting and about lease accounting. Of course, you've got people from all different backgrounds. I'm wondering, what are some of the things you've done to create a sense of inclusion for everyone who works at LeaseQuery, all of the talented people?
We recently, because now we're about 200 people, right? And there's some things that we have to clean up, so to speak. And one of them was our parenting plan, right? And so we sat in a room between me, our COO, our CRO, and our VP of HR. We had a series of calls and meetings and decided, okay, this is what we've come up with, a plan that we feel is fair and equal to everyone. And just as we were about to release it, that's when the riots started, right, in Atlanta. And like diversity and inclusivity was being, was on the forefront, and it still is, and it should be. And so it forced me to think to myself, okay, wait a minute. Here we have, straight black male, straight white male, straight white male, straight white female. And we just came up with a parenting plan that really did not include any of the LGBTQ community. No feedback whatsoever, right? So what are we going to do? So I don't have a lot of people from that community in my personal, circle, but I went and sought some. I reached out to Lisa Calhoun, who's a VC from Valor, and a big part of what they do is diversity and inclusivity. Reached out to her, she connected me with some people, and we got on a conference call and spoke for about an hour and a half. And based on the feedback we received, we scratched off entirely everything that we did with our parenting plan and came up with something that we felt was true.
Wow.
Right? And
wow.
What that is everybody, no matter if you're a birthing parent, no matter if you adopt, whatever you do, you get 10 weeks, right? So you get 10 weeks of parenting time off.
What a great journey. And thank you for sharing that story. I think it's a tremendous example of just kind of figuring out what you don't know that you don't know.
Correct.
So thank you. That's a great story. I guess my last question for you, George, is I know one of the things you've said in the past is that you want to be the least powerful CEO in America. I'm wondering, what do you mean by that? And why are you saying that? Tell us a little bit about why you say that.
Well, I think it boils down to what I've learned as far as being a leader is concerned, right? When you have people and you bring them onto your organization, you have to set them up for success. And part of that is empowering them to make their own decisions, right? You cannot have someone come to your organization and tell them what to do. And if it doesn't work, you can't hold them accountable, right? So if you really want to hold people accountable, you must empower them to be able to make their own decisions. You set the vision. Okay, this is the outcome we want. But how we get there, obviously working within the constraints of your core values. That's why your core values are so important. Honesty, do the right thing, accountability, passion, customer commitment, and a sense of urgency. Those are our core values. Work within these frames and just make your own decisions, right? And so why is that good for me? Because if I am not a one-man show, right? All the success that we've gotten to this point is because of our people, and it's because we empower our people to make their own decisions, right? And to chart their own paths. And if I don't do that as a CEO, if I make all the decisions that need to be made, then people will come to me. Everyone will come to me, right? And I can't scale. Everyone will come to me whenever there's an issue or challenge, right? And then I'm still doing all the work. I'm still doing everything, right? I remember once how I really learned this was I was talking to our HR lady, and I got a random call from one of the recruiters that we work with, and he came up to me and he said, "Hey George, I'm having challenges with your director of HR. Do you mind stepping in and being involved?" And I said, "Okay." I reached out to her. I asked her what's going on. She said, "This is exactly what it was." And I was like, "Okay, well, let's make this change, just this one time." And she goes, "Okay, did you tell him that already?" And I was like, "Yes." I said, "I'll tell you, and I think this is what we'll come up with." And she goes, "Okay, George, well, here's the challenge with that, right? Now you've undermined me, right? Because now he thinks that I don't speak for you. And so the next time something happens, he will come directly to you." And I was like, nah, that won't happen. This is just a one-time thing. I won't, he will definitely not come back to me next time. Sure enough, 2 weeks later, literally 2 weeks later, he calls me. He's like, "I'm having an issue." And I had to make it clear to him, listen, her name was Susan at the time. Susan handles all this, right? She speaks for me. So don't just take it through the normal channel. Talk to Susan and figure it out, right? So I learned a very important lesson there is let them make their own decisions. Let them know that you have empowered them to make those decisions. And then they will make the best decision for the company.
Great. Well, thank you, George. That's a fantastic example of what you have to do in order to scale yourself in a growing company like LeaseQuery. So thank you so much for your time, George. This has been a fantastic deep dive into what's made you successful, and really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.